Our technology is called WOW, which stands for Water Optimizing Waves. About 70% of life on Earth is water. Therefore, students should receive 70% of their education about water from elementary school through college. However, there is not even 1 hour of education about it from elementary school through college. The reason is that no one has yet been able to identify water. We searched for 39 years and found only 2 ways to control it. From here, a certain radio wave is emitted. It's the same frequency used in radio clocks or radios, so you won't feel anything. It's low-tech, safe, energy-efficient, and most importantly, it has no side effects. The National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, AIST, has clarified this. The findings have already been published in academic papers worldwide. The principle behind this is already outlined in the papers. There are 2 key points in the papers. First, moisture micronization. The second is that this micronized moisture has combined in a pearl chain structure. There are 78 patent applications, with 40 granted and 38 pending. Approximately 30 have been granted. It is a principal patent. A technology that can solve the challenges facing the Earth and humanity. This is the first ever video of water being reduced to its smaller state. The yellow is oil, the round shapes are water droplets, and the black columns are electrodes. This is a video of water adhering to the electrodes. Water has a natural tendency to form spheres due to surface tension. The force that breaks this tension is a surfactant. Detergents reduce this tension. When an electric current is applied, the tension is reduced in the same way as with detergents, but using only electricity. By reducing the tension by 60%, the water droplets become smaller. When we measured the diameter, it was 8 microns. A single drop of water, which is 4.5 millimeters, becomes 180 million particles. To pass between cells, it must be less than 12 microns in diameter. I'll show you how quickly they're miniaturized. This video is based on actual measurements. They're miniaturized at this speed. Humans rotate once every 5 minutes. If you are on it for an hour, it's 12 times rotation. Other companies all explain using CG and illustrations. We are the only company that can clearly demonstrate this through video. When large water clusters are exposed to radio waves, they become smaller water clusters. Neither the CEO of that company nor the university professor explaining this theory can see with their own eyes that the water has been minimized. The batter for tempera develops holes. It is explained that the water explodes, creating holes in the batter. Once the holes form, oil enters. We created a product called Dr. Fry. By placing electrodes inside the fryer, we can make fried food that doesn't splatter and doesn't absorb oil. The moisture in the ingredients is reduced to an extremely small size, so even if an explosion occurs, it is a small one, and the batter does not tear. If there are no holes, oil doesn't seep in. This reduces oil usage by 50%. As a result, restaurants can continue to serve fried foods with 50% less oil. Another phenomenon occurring is peel chain structure. On the right side, water doesn't move without an electric current, but when an electric current is applied, water molecules form chains. What's good about pearl chain structure? As trivia, remember that humans, food, and flowers are 70% water. This water is divided into 2 types. Free water, which moves freely, and bound water, which is fixed to proteins. 20% is free water, and 80% is bound water. The water that freely moves around in the human body is found in blood, sweat, urine, and other bodily fluids. The cells themselves are composed of bound water. If all the free water were to disappear from the human body, it would turn into a mummy. When you sun-dry fresh fish, you remove only the free water. That's why it becomes dried fish. The same applies to dried meat. Why doesn't dried meat or dried fish rot? Even in a room temperature environment, bacteria land on them every day. They don't rot because there is no water. So, why is that? The food source for bacteria, viruses, mold, and pathogens is free water. There's mold on dried fish, but without the necessary food source for proliferation, mummies, dried fish, and dried meat don't rot at room temperature because there's no food source. Our focus is on converting this food source into bound water. If we do this inside the food, even if there's mold, there's no food source for the bacteria. If we place sea bream on WoW and bind its free water, the bacteria won't multiply even if they're present. In the global food industry, it's common knowledge that value decreases over time. This means the water evaporates. If the water doesn't evaporate, everything is preserved. The same goes for value. If you put something in the refrigerator for 24 days, the water evaporates, causing it to dry out and wrinkle. When the cells are tightly bound, they remain plump. An apple after 7 months. This is the difference between a baby's skin and an elderly person's skin. Why do wrinkles form in the elderly? Because the water drains out. When water drains out of cells, it's no good. The key is to prevent water from escaping from within the cells. We place strawberries on WoW for 1 hour, the pearl chain structure is completed. Then, store the completed strawberries in a regular refrigerator for 1 month without doing anything else. Fishmongers determine freshness by looking at the eyes. The water-filled parts are the eyes. The intestines of the sea bream on the right also contain a lot of bacteria. However, since the food is bound, the bacteria cannot multiply. Therefore, there is no need to rush to transport sea bream caught in Kagoshima to Toyosu by nighttime freight. When defrosting, drip comes out. That drip is free water. Placing frozen food on WoW to thaw it increases its value by 50%. What doesn't exist is thawing technology. Baby sardines can be left for an hour and eaten for 3 days. Sea urchins also retain their moisture.
まずこの水分が残ってるっていうのと、
通常残らない。
通常出ちゃう。
外に。
この口がもう死んでくると。
There is currently no technology on convenience store shelves. What if WoW were installed on the shelves? If customers took home strawberries that had been on WoW for 1 hour. All supermarkets, convenience stores, bakeries, cake shops, meat and fish stores, souvenir shops, and flower shops need to install this on their shelves.